Hello everybody, my name is Volodymyr Plachotny and you are watching the second issue of IT Newsweek on Brain TV. Tune in for the selection of the most interesting news on the global and Ukrainian IT scene, according to Brain TV editorial. We also want to thank our partner Hub 4.0 co-working space for supporting us in the filming this issue.
These are the top stories of the week. Apple has unveiled the latest version of its operating system iOS 10. Microsoft has reached a deal to buy LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. Retail giant Amazon has launched a British version of its grocery delivery service. Uber offers helicopter service in Brazil. Ukrainian Private Equity and Venture Capital Association presented Private Equity and Venture Capital Overview. Kyiv Global Shapers community discussed the possibilities that fourth industrial revolution opens up for Ukraine. Kyiv hosted AgTech Forum, the first national forum on high technologies for the agricultural industry.
Apple has released the new version of iOS 10 at its annual Worldwide Developer Conference. iOS 10 was launched as a test version and will be available in fall. According to Apple's representative, iOS 10 is the company's biggest release ever. So, what new features can you look forward to when iOS 10 comes to your iPhone and iPad later this year? Watch Brain TV report to know more.
Apple says there are hundreds of new features in iOS 10, but here are the ones that we feel will be the most useful. Apple redesigned the experience of the lock screen. You'll now be able to view your lock screen just by picking up your phone, as well as action notifications using 3D Touch. The biggest change to Siri seems to be that Apple is opening it up to the third-party developers. This means that you'll be able to activate non-Apple apps and functions through voice control. The Photos app now gets places, so you can see where they were taken, but Apple says it is also adding advanced photo recognition to photos so it can spot faces as well as object and scene recognition. Another novelty is new version of iMessage. Emoji are getting 3 times bigger and easier to insert, with iOS recommending potential word replacements for you. Also, Apple is turning the app into its own platform, with third-party developers able to make their content accessible directly through the Messages app. As for Apple Maps, the company is trying to bring up to speed with other services like Google Maps. For iOS 10, Apple Maps will be more proactive, giving you suggestions on what you might be able to do based on where you are and what time it is. That could be suggesting seafood restaurants and then automatically giving you traffic details. And now a bigger one. Apple is getting serious about smart homes and the Internet of Things, launching a dedicated app, Home, for controlling all the appliances that are compatible with HomeKit. If you open up Home, you'll see all your HomeKit compatible accessories, no matter which company makes them, and you can easily control them all from one hub. iOS 10 will enter a public beta testing program in July, and this will be available to all, not just developers. But bear in mind that it still won't be officially finished, and there are likely to be bugs and compatibility issues with some apps. The final official public launch will happen in the autumn of 2016.
Microsoft has reached a deal to buy the professional social network LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. It is the largest acquisition in tech company's history. Watch Brain TV report to learn the details of this deal.
Microsoft and LinkedIn Corporation announced they have entered into a definitive agreement under which Microsoft will acquire LinkedIn for $196 per share in an all-cash transaction valued at $26.2 billion. LinkedIn, a networking and job search site aimed at business users, has more than 400 million users worldwide. The acquisition will give Microsoft an engine to push its office productivity and collaboration software to biz customers, along with other services. Jeff Weiner will remain CEO of LinkedIn, reporting to Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. Previously, Microsoft's bigger acquisitions have been Skype for $8.5 billion in 2011 and Nokia's mobile devices business for $7.2 billion in 2014.
Retail giant Amazon has launched a British version of its grocery delivery service called Amazon Fresh. This is the first step the retail's grocery delivery service has made outside of the United States. Where in the UK will it be available and to whom? We'll tell you in our report.
Amazon Fresh will be available to Amazon Prime subscribers in North and East London, with a 30-day free trial available to people who sign up to use Fresh for the first time. Fresh is initially available to 69 London postcodes, with 1-hour timeframes selectable, so users can ensure they're home to collect their groceries, and same-day delivery is an option if they order before 1 p.m. In addition to more than 130,000 dairy, bakery and other fresh produce items, Amazon will also deliver goods from around 50 small local specialist stores.
São Paulo in Brazil is the first city in the world to have an Uber taxi service with helicopters. The new Ubercopter service will test for a month and transport people between airports, hotels and convention centers. How much will it cost? Watch Brain TV report to learn more.
With more than 400 aircraft and nearly as many helipads, São Paulo has a helicopter fleet that rivals those of New York and Tokyo. But commuting by air remains an option mostly for millionaires. Uber aims to change that. After calling for a helicopter, users will be redirected to an app where they can use their Uber credentials. Clients then get a text message with information about the location of the nearest helipad. The company uses 3 helicopter operators in São Paulo. Each aircraft can carry up to 4 passengers. Promotional prices start at $26 per seat for a lift from Helicentro Morumbi, in one of São Paulo's richest neighborhoods, to the Blue Tree Hotel across the river. The distance is nearly 6 kilometers. A ride from the Blue Tree Faria Lima onward to Guarulhos International Airport costs $105 during the promotion. A car can take 1 to 3 hours to make that trip, depending on traffic.
Now let's talk about Ukraine. $132 million had been invested in Ukrainian companies in 2015. Such a number was shown at Private Equity and Venture Capital overview presented by Ukrainian Private Equity and Venture Capital Association. How many deals were signed? Did Ukrainian IT companies manage to attract more foreign investors? Watch Brain TV report to learn more.
According to the Private Equity and Venture Capital overview presented by UVCA, 66 investment deals were signed in 2015. 62 of them belong to venture capital sector, and 4 transactions are growth stage deals. Ukrainian IT companies have attracted more foreign investors. About half of the deals were converted with the participation of international funds. This fact demonstrates interest to Ukraine from the side of international partners, says Andrei Koleduk, managing partner at Adventures Capital.
We have not only a IT specialist, but now we have a startup. We have more than 2,500 startups in Ukraine, and we also have investors that invest almost every week. We hear about new deal that been invested in IT startups, and that all attracts attention from the other investors, because even local investors, they also invite other international investors to invest alongside with them in the startups.
Entrepreneurs from abroad agree that Ukraine has a lot to offer.
So definitely there is still opportunity for businesses and investors to come here and either open a new branch or as well, as we mentioned many times, for freelance that want to offer their time and skills for businesses that are staying abroad.
We are living in the times of fourth industrial revolution. Such words have been spoken at the World Economic Forum in Davos earlier this year. What are the possibilities that this revolution opens up for Ukraine? A discussion of this issue was the main topic at the meeting organized by Kyiv Global Shapers community, which comprises of business leaders and activists united by the World Economic Forum. Check out Brain TV report to learn more on the story.
I'm the creator of Kyiv Hub Global Shapers community. We are representing the World Economic Forum in Ukraine, in Kyiv. So we decided to make Ukraine Discover Tour, to invest in Ukraine, to break the stereotypes, and to invite people just to join us to see the successful story. In the frame of this event, we organize a few workshops. One of them is just to represent the startups, to show that Ukraine can produce really nice products, and that we have capacity, that we have intrinsic, and that we want to expand for European market.
Me, as a representative of 1991 incubator, we took part in selection of the best startups. Like half of the startups are those who passed through our incubation program, and well, we actually recommended them to take part in this event, and well, that's whose pitches we actually heard today.
And when I was asked to present my startup here, I was glad, but my expectations were not so high, because I was expecting people just to be active, wise, but how can they help me? But when we sat speed dating, and when every each of Global Shaper was sharing some ideas, criticizing or analyzing, and even giving the real context of our potential competitors who can help us, and some investors, it was a huge success, and I really appreciate this possibility, and it's great.
I've been extremely impressed at the talent that was here, the quality of companies being presented, the range of, let's say, technology utilizations that it's been implemented, the quality of presentations as well, particularly since it's such a young incubator. So I think it's been eye-opening to me at seeing the range and breadth of technology talent in Ukraine, and to see how also it's not just focused on this as a market, but also looking international as well. So it's been a really good way of getting a very quick introduction into the startup scene. I liked the digital police one. It's an area of whatever crowdsourcing, citizen intelligence, as well as using big data. So I quite like that.
I didn't know that Ukraine is actually at the forefront of IT and has so much human resources. I've been quite interested with some of the presentations, especially the ones that are on the medical field. And hey, maybe I should stick around a bit more and get to know people even better, and then why not also invest in Ukraine?
Kyiv hosted AgTech Forum, the first national forum on high technologies for agricultural industry. The event, organized by AgTech Ukraine Association, brought together over 300 participants. Among them were agricultural producers, representatives of IT companies, and officials from the Ministry of Agrarian Policy and Food of Ukraine. They all agreed that the future of the industry lies in synergy between high technologies and agribusiness. So how do modern technologies help agriculture move to a new level of performance? Watch Brain TV report to learn more on the story.
Сьогодні відбувається перший в Україні AgTech форум. Це захід, присвячений високим технологіям у сільському господарстві і всіх галузях, які якось цього стосуються, торкаються. Очікуємо від цього заходу багато аграріїв, які прийдуть, щоб послухати про нові технології. А ми, в свою чергу, розповімо їм про те, що існує на ринку України, як це використовувати, як правильно крок за кроком це втілювати, щоб отримати від цього реальний економічний ефект.
В компанії Farmer ми розробили навігацію, мобільний додаток для навігації трактора. Це простий додаток, який працює на звичайному Android-пристрої, на Android-планшеті, на смартфоні, який допомагає трактористу, який працює в полі, виконувати свої операції більш ефективно, що заощаджує як час, так і кошти.
Мы делаем камеру, которая с разрешением от 5,3 до 12,1 мегапикселя, которая позволяет снимать с высоты 100 метров в очень высоком разрешении состояние растительности поля в узких спектральных диапазонах, что даст аграрию очень точную информацию о состоянии здоровья растений и позволит оперативно принять решение о внесении удобрений или внесении СЗР. Таким образом, это сохранит его урожай. То есть мы верим в то, что на каждый вложенный доллар в точное земледелие с нашей системой аграрий получит $20 по приходу в урожая.
Ми займаємося розробкою гаджета для експрес-діагностики якості продуктів харчування. На сьогоднішній день, щоб визначити токсини, бактерії, потрібно брати продукцію, їхати в лабораторію, це займає тиждень часу. За допомогою нашого рішення це є такий невеличкий гаджет і програма на мобільному телефоні. І з цим рішенням можна зробити діагностику протягом 20 хвилин, як то кажуть, by yourself, без участі висококваліфікованого персоналу.
Якщо у нас в країні одні з найперспективніших зараз це наш аграрний сектор і це сектор IT, ми розуміємо, що оцей суцільний інтерес одної галузі до іншої і взаємна робота це дає дуже великі перспективи. Того в наших планах по суті. Це представництво IT-проєктів спільно з аграрними проєктами, спільно з аграрними компаніями за кордоном, щоб можна було популяризувати ті рішення, які є і розробляються в Україні.
And finally, have you heard about the initiative called One-to-One Emergency Expert Assistance, which was launched by Creative Space Chasopis in Kyiv? If you are a young entrepreneur or a CEO of a startup, every Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. you can get a free business advice from skilled entrepreneurs and experts.
An entrepreneur is a kind of universal soldier who, in order to start and develop their own business, should solve a lot of issues in various fields and, generally speaking, know everything and be capable of doing everything, which is basically an impossible feat to achieve. That's why, in an effort to solve this problem, over a year ago, Creative Space Chasopis launched the initiative that helps young entrepreneurs. Every Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every guest of Chasopis is able to get a piece of advice on promoting internet projects, websites, and search engine optimization, or consult with lawyers of company X and Partners, or a representative of the Fin Assistant company about any financial issues.
This is all for today. Once again, we want to thank our partner Hub 4.0 Coworking Space for supporting us in filming this issue. Keep watching Brain TV to power your intelligence. See you next week.